What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and a while back I made a video on Team Sonic Racing vs Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, and it wasn't really much of a versus video, more of a comparison between the two to help people decide which one they'd want to get. I didn't say which one sounded better, I didn't say which one was going to be better, I just sort of talked about them like I was giving a Nintendo Direct presentation or something. But now that they've both been out for a few months, it's time to talk about them again to see which one did better. And just like before, I'm not going to be including opinions or saying which game is good and which game is bad, or if any of them are good or bad. The winner will be decided purely based on 3 objective topics: sales, reviews, and post-launch support. And since there's only 3 topics, of course best 2 out of 3 wins. So before we get into that, let's once again go over what each game had to offer at launch. At launch, Team Sonic Racing had a total of 15 playable characters, and 21 different tracks to race on. There were multiple modes to play all of these in too: time trials, adventure mode, online, local multiplayer, and there were some variations as well, like ring missions and so on. There was also the addition of a customization mode. You could make your kart look however you wanted. However, it did affect stats, so you would have to adapt your playstyle based on how you wanted your car to look. As for gameplay, there is a solo mode, but the game wants you to use its team mechanics, hence the title, Team Sonic Racing. You can gift items to your teammates, leave trails for them to gain speed on, just whatever you can do to help your team reach the top spots and accumulate the most points. And of course, this is a Sonic game, so it is all about speed. And the game is fast, but the track layout is made to accommodate this. Lots of tracks have long, flat stretches of bare land, with obstacles spread few and far between, so that way the game looks fast, but doesn't play too fast so beginners can handle it. At launch, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled had a total of 26 playable characters and 31 tracks to race on. More were added later. There's several game modes like adventure mode, online and local multiplayer, time trials, and of course several extra missions as well, like crystal grabs, CTR races, relic races, and so on. Nitro-Fueled also has its own customization mode, where you can change the kart sets and pieces you want, along with special character skins, none of which affect your stats, so you can choose whichever look you want with whichever skins and pieces you want, without worrying about having to adapt your gameplay style. The gameplay and track layout was kept pretty much identical to the original 20 years ago. And this includes the difficulty spike. Unlike Team Sonic Racing, it doesn't just look fast, you have to earn that speed, and it feels really fast and difficult to keep. Only the best players get rewarded. This is not Mario Kart, but I mean that in a good way. Now that we've summarized them both, let's find out which one won. Reviews. Team Sonic Racing received mixed to positive reviews, with mixed to positive player reception. According to both, the game felt extremely fun to play, and the new team mechanics were very fleshed out. However, in terms of content, they said the game was very bare bones and lackluster. There was a huge lack of fan-favorite characters, and the single-player modes didn't have a lot of replay value. The game did receive a lot of praise for its graphics and presentation though. The game looks gorgeous, but not all the time according to the reviews, as the story is boringly conveyed in still images and text bubbles for cutscenes. I even saw complaints from Sonic fans themselves who are disappointed that the characters acted more like their Sonic Boom counterparts rather than their actual canon selves. So overall, average to positive reviews sounds about right, as people think it's a fairly decent game, but a massive step down and downgrade compared to previous racing games that Sonic starred in. Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled received generally positive reviews, with a generally positive player reception. That player reception did dip later on though with the introduction of microtransactions, but seeing as these microtransactions don't affect anything in the game and everything still remains completely free, as well as the active player base not dipping at all since launch, this can likely be passed off as an overreaction. The game got praised for pretty much everything. How it kept the gameplay from the original intact, how it beautifully remastered all the tracks and characters, and not to forget the beautifully reanimated cutscenes from the original. All the new content and modes received praise as well, but that's also where it got some criticism. Online is said by some to be a bit hit or miss at the moment, and the same for customization, as getting in-game currency for it is said to feel a bit grindy. But overall, generally positive reviews and player reception seems about right, as everything everyone loved from the original is kept 100% intact, and the new stuff is very much welcomed even though it's a bit flawed. So the winner in terms of reviews is Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. Sales. Now the data for copies sold and number of units sold for each game is unknown and doesn't have an exact number, but there are plenty of events, stuff in the time frame, statements, and in-game clues that'll help us solve the puzzle. Team Sonic Racing came off the heels of Sonic Forces, which Sega stated performed strongly at 1.5 million units sold. This lines up with previous Sonic Racing games, as Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, as well as All-Stars Racing Transformed, also sold in between 1 and 1.5 million units. Sega has stated that Team Sonic Racing has performed strongly, so it's safe to assume that it's around that range as well. We'll say 1.5 million units to be safe. Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled is coming off the heels of the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, which sold about 10 million units, as well as off the heels of its original counterpart 20 years ago, Crash Team Racing on the PlayStation, which sold over 4 million units. According to official statements and reports, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled's first week of sales beat Team Sonic Racing's by over 4 times. And on the PlayStation 4 alone, nearly 2 million players are signed up on the in-game leaderboards. When you include the Switch and Xbox players as well as the players who haven't touched online yet, or any players that may have dropped off and stopped playing as the leaderboards reset every month, I think it's safe to say that the game has sold about 3 million copies, or at the very least, close to it. This means, by estimation, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled has sold 2 times more than Team Sonic Racing, and judging by the online activity of both, this seems to be the case. In terms of sales, the winner is Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. Post-launch support. Now I know this is a bit of a one-sided topic, but I needed a third category in case it came down to a tiebreaker. But it didn't, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways if the third topic was something that Team Sonic Racing won at. The developers of Team Sonic Racing, Sumo Digital, have stated that they have no plans for future DLC. Which is reasonable. The game's complete, the game's finished, there's no need for anything extra. It would be nice, but it's not needed. The problem is that there's no plans for anything after launch. No updates, no bug or glitch fixes, no online stability fixes. It's just done. Now, Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled isn't free of bugs either, however it is receiving updates and stability patches to fix them. Beanox, the developers, are even addressing super minor issues like the Grand Prix menus being hard to access, as well as even the more nitpicky complaints like the Velo mask not being in the game. In terms of content, since launch we've gotten over 10 new characters to play as, over 3 new tracks to race on, and tons of new customization items, which is all 100% free. Microtransactions may have been added to the game, but not a single bit of content is locked behind a paywall. So in terms of post-launch support, I'm pretty sure it's clear that Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled wins. Now, of course you can play and enjoy any of these 2 games that you want. This only described how the games performed. This isn't going over their overall quality. If you think Sonic's better, more power to you. If you think Crash is better, more power to you. But seeing as how this was a huge debate leading up to both of the games' releases within a month of each other, it only seemed fitting to finally conclude it now that both have been out for quite a couple months. And so it's pretty clear that the winner is Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled.